What's up everyone, Colby Cheese here with another Path of Exile quick tips video. Now this was going to be geared towards some of the newer players or people who are having issues with determining the correct stats on their gear. Now I've actually watched several of my friends play the game, just starting out and trying to get some of them into it. And one of the things that I've always noticed while watching them play is that they generally have a lot of trouble determining upgrades on their gear. They always ask me questions like, what do I need to equip? Like, is this better than this item? Or I'll look at what gear they have and I'm like, why are you using that particular thing? And they have no idea what upgrades they really need. Now with this particular game, there are hundreds of possible stats and even more combinations available to you. So I can understand how it can be really complex and daunting for new players to actually figure out what to actually equip on their characters. So that said, I'm actually going to try and simplify it extremely well for you so that you really have no issue and no question of what you should really be looking for on various characters. So let's just do a little example here. I picked up a few items randomly while leveling up or while killing some monsters. So let's say you're trying to find a pair of boots and you're comparing the boots. I'm going to make this very simple for you. The stats that you need to always be looking for almost, I'd say 90% of the time, are in this order: life and then resistances. Everything else comes secondary. With exceptions, of course. So let's take a look at these two pairs of boots here. This pair of boots has a little bit of life on it and a little tiny bit of cold resist. This pair of boots right here has no life on it, but it has a much larger amount of resistances on it. So basically what you would want to do is open up your character panel and decide, okay, am I not capped on resist, capped being 75%? If the answer is no, I'm not capped on resist, and you needed the lightning resist, then this is the pair of boots that you'd probably be going with, especially if you're playing a very tanky character relying mostly on strength and armor. This would be a great base armor type for you, as it has that increased armor. See, that's the bonus right there. Essentially, you look for your main stats first, and then everything else that complements your build comes secondary. This pair of boots right here could potentially work out well also because it does have a little bit of HP, but let's say I'm already maxed on cold res and I needed the lightning, then obviously I'll go with that. If I didn't need any resist because the rest of my gear was good enough, then I'll just go ahead and equip these for the life. And the bonus on these is that I get extra item quantity and rarity. That's a double whammy right there. That's pretty good. So I'll stick with that one. Now let's take a look at some other items here and we'll get an idea. So I don't have any other. Oh, here we go. Let's just look at two items that are weapons. This is actually fairly simple. You can simply take a look at the items here and determine which one's better based on what you need. So if you're doing a physical based character that's going to be taking nodes in the tree such as melee physical damage and nodes such as, let's say, executioner, two-handed weapon damage, or something of that nature, that's all physical based, then you're going to want to pick up weapons that have physical modifiers and attack speed, such as this one. Now this one has elemental damage, which can also be good, but only if you're going to be taking nodes such as, let's say, catalyze, increase elemental damage with weapons. So that's very simple in that sense, in that you just pick up items that are going to complement your passive trees whenever it comes to weapons. And pretty much the same thing that applies to boots will apply to other items as well. And so on shields, you're going to want life resistances. This one has two decently high resists. No life on it, but if I had nothing better, then I would use this one. The reason I use this particular shield, even though it has a little bit lower resist than this one, for example, let's say, well, why am I not using this shield instead of this one? Well, this particular shield works really well for my build because it has massive amount of block chance. So there's certainly, edge cases like, well, I would like to have more block chance. This one also comes with life leech, which allows me to stay alive a little bit longer. It is a unique item after all, and it's good in that sense. This pair of gloves here, 79 life. So that's actually a really good pair of gloves on a blue item. So I can probably use that to upgrade if I had nothing better. And so some secondary stats that you want to look for on specific pieces of items such as boots and gloves are going to be move speed. Move speed generally tends to be very important for most items just because it feels better to run fast. That's for the most part. Also, if you have a character that's ranged, it's easier for kiting. Gloves, if you're a physical-based character, you can look for gloves with attack speed on them, and that would be a nice thing to consider. Let's say you don't mind giving up a little bit of health if your gloves have attack speed and resist or something of that nature. So overall, let's just recap. You want to pick up items that have life and resist. Those are the two main stats that you want to look for as a new player. Everything else, think of it as secondaries, and that's how you can compare items. That's the simplified version. There's obviously more to it once you get late game and you're trying to do specific builds, but that will help you get through most of the game on most characters in 90% of the cases. So hopefully this quick tips videos helped you guys out just a little bit. And if you want to ask more questions, be sure to come by the stream at twitch.tv/ColbyCheese, and I'll see you guys around. I'm Colby Cheese. Peace out.